So Louisiana won the toss, elected to defer. Again, we're so glad that you're with us for ACC football on this Saturday here in Tallahassee. A little cooler than we may have expected. A little chill in the air as the Ragin' Cajuns kick it off, and there will be no return. So Florida State will have the ball to start the game as Benson stays in the end zone. So we'll get a look at Jordan Travis, James, and all he did a week ago was throw for a touchdown, run for a touchdown, and also catch a pass for a touchdown in the win against Syracuse.
Doing it all. It's so good to see him out there healthy and happy, and not only doing what he does best, running and throwing the football, but being a great leader. Wonderful leader, the young man from West Palm Beach of this team, as they started to look pretty good here the last few weeks and started on the ground. And that's one of the main reasons offensively, Tom, why they have been a lot better, is that run game, and that offensive line is healthy and all together.
Time for our impact players, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers, James.
Yeah, big Johnny Wilson. You know, a lot of times you get big old receivers and they're not quite as tough as you'd like. Johnny Wilson is tough and he's big. Hill Green, 21 sacks in his career, could break a record here today.
Wilson has the catch. He's up near the 40-yard line. That's first down yardage. And that'll move the chains for the Noles. 11 yards on the play, and the pass from Jordan Travis.
Yeah, the other Wilson, that's Pokey Wilson, who, a senior from Ashburn, Georgia, also having an outstanding year.
Up to the 45-yard line, and Trey Benson, the sophomore. Florida State ran for 230 yards a week ago at the Dome against Syracuse in a 38-3 decision. Incomplete up near midfield. Looking for Wilson.
And maybe a good thing that was a little high and hard as it goes over into the Ragin' Cajun sideline, because Eric Guerrer was there defending and had a nice break on it.
We'll see Guerrer on special teams, returning punts and kicks for the Ragin' Cajuns of Louisiana out of the Sun Belt Conference. First ever meeting between these two programs. It's now third down. About 6 to go for Florida State. Travis with the time, trying to extend the play to midfield. He's got the first down inside the 45. Jordan Travis on the scramble run. Trahant took him down.
Well, nice coverage in the secondary. Plenty of time for Jordan Travis, but nobody there for him. So this is where he's really good, tucking that ball and going. He's not running maybe quite as much as he was earlier this year, earlier in his career, but he doesn't need to. He can move those feet. As he's moving those feet, initially he's moving them, trying to find those receivers down the field.
This is Benson. Benson to the 36-yard line. Got 7 on the run for Benson. How about the last 3 games for Benson, James? He has set his career high in rushing in each of those games, including last Saturday at Syracuse, where Benson ran for 163 yards on 18 carries.
Well, coming off that injury at Oregon before he transferred, he's still fresh as can be, and it's got to be really exciting for Nole fans. He gets better every time out, it seems like.
Travis, deep ball. Too far for Wilson. Guerrer was back there defensively for Louisiana. Time for our Hardy's Star to Watch. And there's a few people you could select, but I think number 3 deserves that honor, James, as our Hardy's Star to Watch, Trey Benson.
Yeah, taking a look at that right hand. Hopefully he's okay. Benson, mentioned, went to Oregon, but he's from Greenville, Mississippi. And there's been a nice pipeline from Mississippi here to Tallahassee, Florida. You go back, you look at some of the greats that have come through here. T-Buck, Terrell Buckley, one that stands out, obviously.
Direct snap on 3rd down. Trayshawn Ward to the goal line and in. took it the distance, 36 yards. Noles touchdown.
Well, just as Trey Benson heads over to that sideline, they take a look at that right hand. Here's that 1-2 punch, taking the direct snap, and look at him just buying his time. Patience, patience, and then turning on the Jets. And again, that is a great example and a great look of that front, that offensive line. Over the past couple of years, they're finally playing with some consistency because it's finally the same guys in there.
Looks like they're reviewing the previous play change. If it stands for Ward, it'll be his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. And again, it went for 36 yards. That was on a 3rd down play as he took the direct snap all the way to the end zone. We think the officials will take a look at it.
There will always be.
We saw them review this close play on the goal line, James. It's been ruled a TD.
Yep. Ball had crossed the plane by the time that knee hit for Treshaun Ward, and it'll stand. And opening drive, not a bad opening drive for the Seminoles. Just one incompletion, but start to finish, it was pretty much all Noles, and now they'll try to cap it off here and make it 7-0.
Only took 2.5 minutes to get into the end zone on that 3rd down play. It was a direct snap to Ward, and he found an alley to the end zone. Fitzgerald for the extra point for the Seminoles. 7-0. Early in the first quarter as we go down to Wiley Ballard on the sidelines.
Well, Tom, as you and James talked about in the open, it's been a week filled with profound grief, not just in Charlottesville, but across the ACC. And one of the questions the league asked itself is, how can we help? How can we support the University of Virginia during this tough time? And one step they've taken is placing Virginia decals in the back of every ACC football player's helmet. And I spoke with Florida State running back Trey Benson, asked him, what did it mean to wear that Virginia decal today? He said it's going to mean a lot being able to support them. No one ever wants to get that phone call. You're supposed to get away from the battles when you're in college. It's just so devastating.
It really is, Wiley, and there you see the stickers on the back of the Seminoles helmets. And obviously, it's a football team that's not playing. A scheduled opponent of Coastal Carolina was supposed to go in there, but I can't even imagine how they would get out of bed this week, those football players there in Charlottesville. So trying to heal the whole community right now.
Big stick short of the 15 as Chris Smith was the return man for the Raging Cajuns.
Well, and that right there, and look at Mike Norvell over there in a hurry to bat his guys on the hat. This special teams, this 3rd phase of the game, he is in the thick of it. This head coach, as most head coaches should be, as Chandler Fields will head out to the field right now. And yes, that is not the regular starter, at least it hasn't been the past few weeks. Ben Wooldridge injured on Monday in practice and is out for the rest of the season, unfortunately. So it will be up to the sophomore, who has a few starts under his belt this year.
Yeah, Fields did start the first 3 games of the season for Louisiana. Time for our impact players, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers with the Raging Cajuns on offense.
Yeah, they're going to go hurry, so we got to go quick. Here's Chris Smith in the backfield behind him, and that pistol look will spread him out now. Empty backfield, and we'll get to those players to watch. We got a second. How about that?
5 receiver set. Quarterback on the run, nowhere to go, and take it down. DJ Lundy defensively for the Noles.
Lundy on the wheels of steel. Nice looking DJ right there. Does a great job of just running through that receiver. You're going to see him there at the top of your screen. Receiver turns to block once he realizes it's a run, but Lundy's not having any of it. Very physical on the perimeter, not just defensively, but offensively. These Florida State Seminoles, when you turn on the tape, that's one thing that jumps out is their receivers offensively have done a fantastic job. Here's a big 3rd down and long now.
Previous play was a loss of 7. That one's in the turf. Incomplete. Akeem Dent with the pressure. 4th down for the Ragin' Cajuns. So Reese Burns out to punt. Micah Pittman, the deep man at his own 40-yard line. Burns a step deep in his own end zone. Pittman lets it bounce and tries to field it near the 35-yard line. 51 yards on the punt. Florida State has the football when we come back to Tallahassee.
The Wolf, they've got to hunt as a pack. All 3 phases have to be clicking, meaning the special teams have to be special for Louisiana to put it together. For Florida State, the cannonball run. Everybody's got to be working together, and they can't slow down, Tom. That's the main thing, I think, today, and they sure haven't so far. 3 and out on defense, looking good offensively, but if they want to go coast to coast and they want to finish, I mean, this is a huge leap in where Florida State fans expect to be, want to be, should be. They can't let off that gas pedal here against Louisiana. They've got the rivals, the Florida Gators, coming in next week, and they're coming off of 3 huge wins.
Travis up the sideline. The Noles have dominated the opposition in the first quarter, as you saw. James, we got a long way to go and a short time to get there.
Just put that hammer down. There we go, tightrope in the sidelines. Jordan Travis and Mr. Do-It-All.
Noles are working on a 3-game winning streak. Toafili up near midfield for Toafili. Quibido took him down. In those 3 games, all victories for Florida State. They've outscored their opponents 124 to 22. And remember, they started the season 4-0. Further breakdown of that 3-game winning streak. Total domination in all the stats. Here goes Toafili inside the 20 and dragged down. Lawrence Toafili. Trahan made the tackle.
Nice job by Toafili. Great backs. They all have great vision, showing you right here. And it's one thing to have good eyes, but do you have the wheels to match? And number 9 has just that. You got to take care of that rock, though. Fortunately, he had the ball in the outside arm, and that's exactly why there's a fumble. It goes out of bounds, but you got to take care of it, protect it.
33 yards and into the red zone. That is going to be a forward pass and incomplete by Travis. Looking for Cameron McDonald. I just mentioned the red zone, Bates. In those 3 games, the 3-game winning streak for Florida State, 15 of 16 in the red zone. That's efficiency. And guess where we are? In the CPI Security red zone for Florida State.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Owning the football. There's one thing Alex Atkins, the offensive coordinator, wants this team to do is take care of that rock.
Little play fake. Travis trying to freelance, and he goes out of bounds near the 10-yard line. Florida State is already over 100 yards rushing in the game as a team here in this first quarter.
Eventually, it's going to be Quibido and company that get to him over there, and a good job by Jordan Quibido to run down a tough one. Quibido, former walk-on, coming off a 7-tackle performance against Georgia Southern in the win last week from right there in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Ward to the left of Travis. Ward has the touchdown run. He's got the pass inside the 5, but he's spun down. Helicopter down at the 3 by Trahan. 7 yards on the play.
The Cajuns are going to bring the blitz. The pressure's coming, but knowing exactly where he wants to go with that football, he's got a little bit of a cushion in that man coverage. And Jordan Travis delivering a strike even under the pressure. So first down and goal now for the Noles.
Look at those red zone numbers. Eye-popping. 40 of 49 overall. Before the play develops, we got some whistles, and there's a flag in the end zone. Riley Johnson is our referee today.
We're going to redo first down due to the fact we moved the center judge away from the ball before the complete substitution happened. First down.
We're going to try this again.
Right.
I guess, Biggs.
Well, when the offense substitutes, the defense is allowed to match, and I think that's what he's saying as the official was standing over the ball still, giving them time. Here we go.
Travis still has it. Stretches it out and drops into the end zone. 3 yards and a touchdown for Jordan Travis.
It doesn't get much easier than this. Great job. Look at him dominate up front there in the middle of that offensive line, and then out on the edge, Wyatt Rector was locked on to his defender, and an easy stroll into the end zone for Jordan Travis, who you mentioned earlier not only ran but threw for one and caught one last week against Syracuse in the game.
From Wyatt Rector. He's the one who threw the pass.
There you go. Little read and the right read, a good read. And reading is fundamental for the Seminoles. They're up 14-0. Going back on a business trip back to Miami. They went down, took care of business against the Hurricanes in a big way. And then against Sean Tucker and Syracuse last week. 0 touchdowns allowed the last 2 weeks. Stadium in the first quarter. They held the Jackets to 24 yards on 24 plays. So Adam Fuller, the defensive coordinator, he's got those guys hunting together. And, you know, they've gotten healthy, not just offensively. We talked about that offensive line being able to play all the same bodies together week to week to week. But having Fabian Lovett back out there making those plays. Now they've got some of that depth back. And they can roll fresh bodies out there up front. And they're big and they're good. Odell Higgins, the assistant head coach, defensive line coach who played here, has been here forever as a coach. Such a good teacher up there, and you can tell they know how to play football and rush the passer.
Bates, that was our Max Performance, brought to you by Z-Max. Smith on the return. And now, while we have a second, let's go to our impact players, brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. The Ragin' Cajuns have the football.
All right, here we go. Chris Smith, there he is, the rushing leader last season and this season, coming off of his best game against Georgia Southern. And this is an offense for the Ragin' Cajuns that will shift. You'll get a lot of smoke and mirrors, maybe more than the Seminoles have seen all year, will see all year. Therefore, it's up to number 4 in the middle, the quarterback of the defense, if you will, to get everybody set up. And oh, by the way, he's a pretty good linebacker as well. And with those big bodies in front of him, eating up those blockers, he can go sideline to sideline and make plays.
Fields will hand it off. Terrence Williams, 23 in white. Tatum Bethune on the tackle, 6 yards for Louisiana. Remember that this Florida State offense allowed just 160 total yards to Syracuse last week at the Dome. Fewest that a defensive unit here at Florida State has allowed since 2016. Up the middle. That should be first down yardage at the 29 for Terrence Williams.
The thing that really impresses me about last week's win, obviously, you go beat Miami. I don't care who's at what level of their program, rebuilding or how good they are, 45-3. The biggest victory for a team on the road in the series. That's huge. But to go up to Syracuse and to play like they did, that was a nice play. Nice break on the ball and outstanding coverage there from Lumpkin. Ball's intended over there for Lumpkin. We've seen Bethune a couple times. He had the tackle earlier on the first snap of this series, and there he is defending the pass as well. So Deloach and Bethune very active at the linebacker spot.
To the air again. Incomplete near the 45. There's a penalty marker. Michael Jefferson, intended receiver. Renardo Green in coverage for Florida State.
Trying to get it up there to the captain of this offense. A favorite not just for Wooldridge, but Fields as well. Leading receiver on this team, and he has been for quite some time. He's such a special talent. Nice coverage by Green. Was it too good on that back shoulder?
Pass interference, defense, number 15. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Nice technique and stride for stride with the speedy one. And, you know, I guess that's good defense right there. That's tough. That's tough. That's textbook defense, and maybe saying he didn't get his head turned back around. Nonetheless, it's a fresh set of downs for the Raging Cajuns.
So they'll put the football at the 44-yard line. 1st and 10 for Louisiana. 5-5 on the season, 3-4 in the Sun Belt Conference West Division. That's Chris Smith, the junior. Goes 5'9", 200 pounds. Smith last season, James, at Arkansas State ran for 238 yards in a single game. 5th most in school history, and he had 2 rushing TDs as well.
Yeah, on just 24 carries. And, well, Wiley Ballard knows all about Chris Smith. We'll let him snap this ball and check down with Wiley.
2nd down for Louisiana. Out on the edge. LeBlanc. Let's check in with Wiley.
Well, Tom, Chris Smith led the Cajuns in rushing each of the last 2 seasons, but he really attributes most of that success to the running backs that came before him, especially Elijah Mitchell. In fact, he and Elijah still in touch. Mitchell, currently with the 49ers, had a big game last Sunday, close to 90 yards. And Chris Smith and he stay in touch, and Chris told him, hey, nice game, but where was the touchdown, man? Come on, we got to get in the end zone. So, again, he believes he's continuing the legacy of strong running backs at Louisiana.
Wiley, this is a 3rd down play now from midfield. Have to go to the air. Fields taken down about 2 yards short of the marker. Needed the 46 of Florida State. To Loach of the tackle.
Now, one of the luxuries of being able to apply pressure with just 4 rushers is you don't always have to get into man coverage and have everybody's back turned running down the field covering guys. You've got some guys playing zone. They can eyeball that quarterback, and there's Deloach. And they rally in a hurry to make that stop. But going for it on 4th down, Louisiana.
11 of 25 this season on 4th down. This is 4th and 2. Williams got popped. Jamie Robinson on the hit. Needed to get to the 46-yard line.
Oh, he stones him right about the 46. This is going to be interesting. Wow. I mean, these safeties are physical. Jamie Robinson, Shaheem Brown behind him has made big play after big play. They do, Tom. They're going to give it to him?
They're calling for a measurement. Those chains are going to come out, Bates. Don't get me started now, Bates.
Just a chance to quiet it down so you get the war chant going here in Doak Campbell Stadium.
Bobby Bowden Field at Doak Campbell Stadium.
Wow.
Just enough. Nose of the football. first down. Despite that hit by Robinson, that was a violent collision at the point of attack.
Well, good hard running, a nice. Oh, we'll take a look at it.
Wait a second now, Bates.
Well,
hold on. So the spot is under review. Right now, the football is right near the 46 of Florida State.
Nice job initially that time by the offensive line, and offensive line for Coach Dez and the Cajuns that's really been banged up. They've lost so many even before the season started. And this is going to be interesting because as it sits, it's about 2 inches good, but it certainly looks like if that 46 was truly the line to gain, they may be a little bit shy. Here's one more angle at it right here. Nice job filling by that safety. Can't quite see it from that angle right there. This one may be tough to turn over because it was ruled on the field at that spot, you know, and how are you going to judge the inches from way up top as you look at it? So it'll be interesting to see the end result right here, but good hard running, good physical football play by both parties involved right there. And well, there you see, look at in the split screen, Mike Norvell, he sees it up on the Jumbotron. He can see it just fine, can't he? He knows exactly where it should be.
Michael Desormeaux in his second season as the head coach for the Raging Cajuns. He coached the bowl game last year as Billy Napier moved on to Florida. By the way, they won their first 2 games of the season, James. That was 15 in a row going back to last year. And now, based on that celebration, watch out.
The runner was down short of the line to gain at the 46.5-yard line. The ball will be brought back a half a yard, resulting in a first down, Florida State.
So there had to be indisputable video evidence to support the overturning of this call, and there was.
Well, and this is an example of Florida State not taking any gas off, not letting up on that pedal right here. Jamie Robinson stepping up and filling on that 4th down try, and what a punch to the gut for Coach Desormeaux and his Raging Cajuns. You know, finally moving the football a little bit, chewing their way down the field and get stuffed on what looked like a good 4th down try. And so now they've got to send that defense back out there, and they haven't been able to stop Jordan Travis in this offense yet here in the first quarter.
A couple of rushing TDs for the Noles. It was Trayshawn Ward on the first possession, 36 yards. And then Travis, short yardage for a touchdown. That's Trey Benson. He's to the 47 of Louisiana. Tyrone Lewis Jr. on the tackle. 6 yards on the play for Florida State. Coach Michael Desormeaux. We went over all the pronunciations for Louisiana with their coaching staff. Travis floats it inside the 30, and it falls incomplete.
There's a flag down way back about the 20-yard line, though.
So the ball now at the 37 of the Raging Cajuns. 3:50 to go in our first quarter. Portier almost came up with the juggling grab.
Yeah, you finally get one to hit the turf. Incomplete pass. I think something's going your way. The Cajuns helping them out a little bit right here, giving them a free first down.
Travis still has it. Sets it up to Benson. It's a nice open field tackle. Brandon Bishop made the play defensively for the Raging Cajuns.
You see those numbers from Travis, and you know the yards through the air. Those receivers have been good catching the ball, but they've been fantastic being physical and blocking out there on the edge. That's why Bishop's play right there was even better than it looked.
Travis cuts it loose into double coverage near the goal line and incomplete. Looking for Douglas and incomplete.
Again, nice coverage down the field, but so much time. Player with his hat coming off there for the Cajuns, and just got to be careful staying in those rush lanes when Travis realizes that he doesn't have anything going on down the field. We've already seen it many times throughout this season, a couple times already today. He's going to tuck it and go, take advantage of it.
3 for 3 on third down, make it 4 for 4. That is Benson bashing his way to the cusp of the red zone at the 20. 16 yards on the run, Benson.
One of the top teams in the nation when it comes to third downs. 49% coming into this game, and thanks in large part to the success on the early downs. And of course, thanks in large part to that big offensive line leading the way. And here's another example. Give me 3 or 4 yards on first down, and it certainly sets up some easy play calling for the next couple plays in a better situation for when that third down comes up. 14th in the nation, the Noles on third down conversion, second in the ACC.
Pittman upended. So they had Pittman kind of sprinted out of the handoff from Travis, and he's trying to shake off the after effects of that play, James. Pedesclo made the tackle. Third down, Travis to the end zone. His second rushing touchdown of the game from 13 yards away.
So many times you see it where the numbers work out, where Jordan Travis after the read or Jordan Travis tucking the football has to make one guy miss. And I don't envy that one guy. Way back when, we used to have to try to take down Warwick Dunn. And I don't know, he may be even tougher to bring down in the open field. Cool and calm, little shake, and hitting the Jets, taking it into the paint. Touchdown number 2 for number 13. And a defense that shuts down the Cajuns on a 4th and short try near midfield. And after that turnover on downs, I'll call that points off of a turnover. 21-0 Seminoles.
How about 164 yards rushing in this first quarter with 1:58 to go. Florida State came in as the #1 rushing attack of the ACC, averaging 214 yards per game. Well on their way to that number once again as Travis took it in from 13 yards away. Travis now, James, he's up to 22 career rushing touchdowns. He's 12th in school history in that category.
How about him over there on the sidelines, clapping up his guys, leading the show and coaching them up.
At the 5. Flag came out on the return from Smith. In fact, there are 2 penalty markers.
Well, this is where this Louisiana team is very dangerous. You mentioned earlier the punt returns for touchdowns. Punt return and kick return. And here they finally get one.
During the return, holding by the return team number 44. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Well, we have a second. Let's get a message. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns, 3 rushing TDs. 2 from Travis and 1 from Ward. And 2 of those rushing TDs came on third downs for Florida State as well. The Ward TD run was 36 yards to open the scoring. deep in their own territory for the Raging Cajuns. Fields completed the 15. Michael Jefferson on the catch. Jefferson had 3 grabs for 53 yards, James, last week, and a receiving TD in the win last Thursday against Georgia Southern at home, 36-17 for Louisiana.
Nice pickup for the favorite target there, number 8 out of Mobile. Started his career at Alabama State. Actually played here a couple years ago when Alabama State came to town to take on the Seminoles.
Dragging would-be tacklers up to the 30. It's Washington, the redshirt freshman.
And coaches are high on Dre Washington. 5 carries, 74 yards in the win over Georgia Southern. Look at him fighting through that traffic. The last couple of weeks he's had a pretty good ball game. Jay, the offensive coordinator, really excited about the youngster. There he is again.
McClendon on the tackle. Dent as well. Seminoles are 7-3 so far this season, working on that 3-game winning streak. 5-3 in conference play. Their conference schedule is complete. Next week it's Florida here in Tallahassee. Lofted out near the 40. Too far for everybody from Fields. Trying to find Peter LeBlanc, junior from New Iberia, Louisiana, which is also the hometown of Michael Desormeaux, the head coach for the Raging Cajuns, who was a former quarterback at Louisiana.
About 20 minutes away, so Desormeaux, born and raised right there in the shadow of Cajun Field. And, you know, he's kind of a unicorn in the coaching field. He hasn't been many other places. Here's a 3rd down and short now, 3rd down and 3 on this one, a big one. And the Noles get nasty on 3rd down. Let's see what they got for him right here.
Fields from a sturdy pocket, puts some touch on it over the middle, and that falls incomplete. TJ Lundy made the play defensively.
Not bad for a guy who hasn't played much linebacker in his career. Sophomore out of Georgia. And he didn't play linebacker in high school until his senior year. Still see him over there on the offensive side from time to time, playing that fullback spot. Coach Norvell, nice to get that lead blocker in there. I'll take you back to those days of the 90s, perhaps, Florida State.
Burns the punt, Robinson the deep man. Wants the fair catch near his 20 and makes it successfully at the 19. With just 7 seconds to go in our first quarter as we go down to Wiley.
Well, Tom, we have an injury update from the sideline, Florida State. No details, but Micah Pittman has gone to the locker room, receiver for the Seminoles. That was about 2 minutes ago, I'd say. He was escorted back to the locker room. I'll let you know if I see him return.
Thank you, Wiley. 7 seconds to go in our first quarter. It's been all Florida State, James.
Yeah, and Pittman, hopefully he's okay. All, you know, not just important to this offense, but in the return game as well. Quite a return man for Mike Norvell.
Coach Norvell in his 3rd year as the head coach of Florida State. That is Benson into the line. In fact, this rushing game for Florida State, James, 5 straight games prior to today, 200 yards.
And running. That day on, if I was going somewhere, I was running like Forrest Gump in that first quarter for the Seminoles. Look at that, 165, just 19 through the air, but they haven't really needed it for a grand total of 184. And the 24 plays in the first quarter. Here's play number 25 to start the second.
Travis with the handoff. Benson weaving his way close to the 30. Maybe not quite enough for first down yardage near the 29-yard line.
There's a good look at it through the eyes of the safety, perhaps. Up there close.
Up the middle for first down yardage. Trey Benson on the carry. Florida State with a 21-0 lead. Look at the numbers they have posted, James, over the last 5 games leading up to today on the ground.
Well, and when you look back at that Clemson team, it was a Tigers team that was only allowing just over 62 yards a game at the time. They go 206 there. A top rushing defense in NC State. They put it on them as well.
Travis throws on the run, and it's incomplete. You know Portier wants that one back. How about the throw by Travis on the run? The coaching staff told us, James, one of the things that Travis has improved on is throwing on the run, and he put it on display there.
And it was
ineligible downfield, number 52.
right on the spot. Those
5-yard
intermediate
penalty,
routes
first down.
are where he's really improved and tried to turn and go because he knew he had some space before he had it secured. And you're right, he'd love to have that one back. The sophomore, Coconut Grove, down there in enemy territory where the Canes roam, and there was an ineligible downfield, so it's first down and 15.
They've got to get to their own 43. Toafili to the 30. We showed you that streak of 5 straight games, 200 yards or more rushing. That is the longest streak for this Florida State program, James, since 1995, when they had 6 in a row. So that'll put it in perspective for you, what they've been able to do on the ground of the ACC this season. Leading rushing attack, averaging 214 yards per game with the run game. Travis dumps it off. Little screenplay. Douglas. Sophomore from Brownsville, Tennessee.
All right, Tennessee guys. Good to see those Tennessee guys out there making plays down here in the Sunshine State. Good job blocking and nice job staying home there defensively. The Cajuns. You know, the damage done, though, as Douglas carries the tackler about 3 or 4 more yards, gets up there near the sticks for a 3rd down and short. They need 2 yards to move those chains.
Ward on the direct snap, trying to go 7 for 7 on 3rd down. They won't get this one as he stumbles down. Well short of the marker. In fact, they'll drop him at the 39-yard line. Tyrone Lewis in on the stop for the Raging Cajuns.
Yeah, and he actually tripped over his own guy. That's Robert Scott. Big left tackle getting up and moving. And you know, these offensive linemen, they do such a good job on that counter, such a good job, you know, mainly because these offensive linemen are so athletic, big bodies that can get up and move. You know, when you don't rep it so many times from that quarterback spot like a Jordan Travis would, taking that direct snap, you get your first stop on 3rd down.
Mastromano the punt. Eric Garrer. Flag is out. 2 of them is going to be an illegal block against the Raging Cajuns. Eric Garrer has 2 punt return touchdowns this season, James, but in this instance, it's going to be a penalty against the Raging
block in the
Cajuns.
back by the return team, number 28. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
I mean, here's a guy who can take it to the house.
Back at Joe Campbell Stadium, opened up in 1950, 73rd season for the Noles in this facility, as we go down to Wiley Ballard with our RB sideline report.
Well, Dom, the success of the Florida State defense has been well documented. They haven't given a touchdown in the last 9 quarters, but practice can get monotonous at times. That's why Robert Cooper, their defensive tackle at 335 pounds, came up with the spontaneous idea to challenge his head coach, Mike Norvell, at 41 years old, and it's become a daily tradition at Florida State practices. The big nose tackle and his old head coach going a 100-yard dash, and it really gets the players going, the team going. But for Robert Cooper, it's also a sign of how far he has come in his time as a Seminole. Going back to when he was in Pop Warner, he quit football because of the conditioning. He said, forget this, I'm not running. And now he's poised to be an NFL draft pick this coming April, and it is a matter of having fun when he's running instead of wishing he was doing something else like playing video games maybe. He's a big video game guy.
Well, it certainly helps Wiley. He's lost 40 pounds. And, you know, And it's every practice they say they get out there and they race. I can only imagine the fun that the rest of the team has. And we saw practice yesterday, and it's some energy when coach steps into that field house. And there's a nice play by his defense. Excellent job getting back there by the linebacker. That's Brendan Gann. See, look at the bodies being eaten up there on the left side of your screen by those the interior defensive linemen playing unselfish football, just chewing them up, those blockers, and letting guys like Gant just run free and go make these plays. Man, it makes it so easy on those linebackers in the middle. And they're so athletic already, and they can move and run you down. It's a dangerous combination.
Seminoles 19th in those college football playoff rankings. Two receivers were wide open, and the pass fell incomplete from Fields. Johnny Lumpkin was the intended receiver. There was not a Nole defender in the vicinity, James.
Yeah, here on this boot, it's, you know, in Fields at 5'10", got to see up over Lumpkin and try to dump that pass over and give his guys a chance. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, Wooldridge, the regular starter since week 4 of this football season, injured at practice last Monday. He's out for the season. Unfortunately, the transfer from Fresno State. So Chandler Fields, who started the first 3 games of the year, here now a 3rd down and 10.
0 for 3 on 3rd down for Louisiana. That ball's on the turf, still bouncing around. Who's got it? Big pile up near the 20-yard line. Big wood pile trying to cover that one. The ruling on the field
is a fumble. 4th down.
And they ruled it a fumble, so it's 4th down for Louisiana, James.
Lucky to get this one back. A couple Seminoles with a touchdown on their minds, trying to scoop it and score. Now we'll take a look at this, of course. The hand looked like it just started to come forward, but ruled a fumble on the field. I think that's going to remain a fumble, and then the aftermath, you got heads banging, helmets clacking as they try to pick up that football. So
yeah, they're going to look it over, I bet you.
Fumble recovered by Louisiana.
Patrick Payton was the Seminoles defender right up in the grill of Chandler Fields. So they will take a look at that. Fumble or incomplete pass. It is under review in Tallahassee. So after further review, it is ruled an incomplete pass from Chandler Fields.
How about Patrick Payton, just a redshirt freshman, getting there to make sure it was an incomplete pass. And freshman from Miami Northwestern, proud high school program down there, the Northwestern Bulls.
So the struggles, James, continue for Louisiana. Just 51 total yards for the Ragin' Cajuns. Very little raging so far from the Cajuns. And 208 total yardage for Florida State and 3 rushing touchdowns. Here we are, 21-0. I did some extensive research, James.
Oh, yeah?
Looked way back in the annals of college football. Okay? Since 1976, I found 0 ACC opponents for the Ragin' Cajuns.
Wow.
So not only is this the first meeting between the programs, it's a possibility it's their first ACC opponent. Again, the record books only going back to the mid-70s. They elevated to the Football Bowl subdivision in the late 70s as well in 1977 for Louisiana.
Short field to work with here, and they've done all the damage here in this game on the ground. Excellent job, not just by Trey Benson, but his backup Trayshawn Ward started the scoring. Torfili getting involved, and of course, you know, number 13 is going to get in on the action. 2 touchdowns for Jordan Travis here early in this football game, and a 21-0 lead, and trying to add on right now with just over 10 minutes left to play in the first half.
Benson to the 40. There are plenty of rushing touchdowns to go around, James. Benson leads the team with 5. He's tied with Toa Philly, who also has 5 rushing TDs. Trayshawn Ward has 1 today. He's got 4 for the season. And Jordan Travis has 2. He's up to 5 rushing TDs. So all sorts of weapons on the ground.
My old roommate, Eric Kresser, he may have taught him to throw back at the Benjamin School. He's the head coach back there now. But Kresser couldn't run like that. He may have told him which way to go. But my buddy Kresser, he wasn't known for his running. He was known for his cannon arm. Went up to Marshall and won a national championship up there with Randy Moss and Coach Bob Pruitt. And he's back there turning out some more quarterbacks like Jordan Travis, who actually started his career after leaving South Florida, West Palm Beach, at Louisville before transferring back to the place where he always wanted to be, right here in Tallahassee.
They'll run it again with Benson. Keep in mind, James, Travis this season averaging 241 yards passing per game. That is 3rd best in the ACC. And he has 20 passing touchdowns. That's also 3rd best in the conference. He's been accurate as well, Bates. I got more for you. 65% passing completion rate. That is 2nd in the conference. Don't overlook Jordan Travis as one of the top quarterbacks in this conference. Toa Philly. Told you Toa Philly is one of 3 Noles with 5 rushing touchdowns this season. He got 6 for the first down.
Yeah, and we've talked Trey Benson up quite a bit here, but it's not much of a change up when you go Toa Philly. It's an incredible 1-2 punch. We've seen Ward running hard in there as well today. When you've got 2 guys that one has to sit over on the sideline and get hungrier, it's a pretty good combination for a coaching staff. You've got a friendly, positive competition at these positions where you just feed off of one another. And now Benson's back in the game on that carry.
Benson to the sideline for the Noles. Again, he has set his career high in 3 successive games with 163 yards last week in the Dome. Travis on the play fake and the throw down inside the 10, complete to Philly.
Toa Philly with the great hands against Georgia Tech. He ran for a touchdown and caught a touchdown. And they'll run him on the little wheel route here out of the backfield. And how about that? Nice drop in the bucket on the wheel route. Good throw by Jordan Travis. And again, those intermediate throws, that's where he's improved so much. He's always had a nice touch on the deep ball. But a ball like that, right in that window in the zone. Nice pass there to get it down. That one goes incomplete, though.
He's looking for McClain, who had 4 catches for 26 yards and a receiving TD a week ago in the win at the Dome against Syracuse for Florida State. Last week they were 5 for 5 in the red zone. 2 for 3 so far today inside the red zone. 2nd and goal. Pitch forward inside the 5. Douglas. He was taken down about the 3-yard line. 7:45 and rolling in the 2nd quarter. So glad that you're with us for ACC football. Tom Wormy, James Bates, Wiley Ballard on the sidelines, and our outstanding production crew with you from Tallahassee. Third and goal. Penalty marker.
Blow it dead as there was contact. The Cajun defensive lineman looked like
offside. Defense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal line. 3rd down.
Jaquan Nelson there in the middle.
Senior from High Point, North Carolina. Raging Cajuns have made the trip from Lafayette, Louisiana. Third and goal now from just outside the 1. Untouched and into the end zone. Touchdown, Florida State. And it's Trayshawn Ward, his second rushing TD of the game. This one officially for 2 yards.
Again with the direct snap. And again with the big pullers. This time it's Dimitri Emmanuel on the right guard spot. Up and around to seal that edge. And just a nice stroll into the end zone for number 8, Trayshawn Ward. Well, you talk about all the success in the red zone. Are you sure it's red, Wormy? I think it looks a little bit more garnet to me.
It does.
Because it's been golden every time they've gotten down there.
Oh, that's my piece.
Nothing. Seminoles all smiles on those sidelines, and why not? 4 rushing touchdowns in the game. 2 from Jordan Travis and 2 from Trayshawn Ward. No return from Smith. Time for our 5-star drive summary, brought to you by Yellowwood.
And first touchdown drive of this second quarter took 8 plays, went 44 yards, and finished off with that 1-yard rush touchdown number 2. And you saw Mike Norvell run over there when Ward tried to hit that gritty on him. He said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not doing it. Everybody holding their breath until, you know, now that everyone's doing it, you're not so sure. And it's going to be the boy who cried wolf, people grabbing their hamstring like, oh, he's just getting ready to dance. And then the real deal out there. But looks to be okay. Certainly happy on the sidelines right now.
Incomplete up near midfield. Rogers Jr., the intended receiver for Louisiana.
Decent ball right here by Fields. Gives him a chance. He had a little bit of space on Greedy Vance. But Vance doing a good job of just putting his head down and playing catch up and getting in on the mix. That ball falling to the ground. Passing yards just 19 here in this first half for the Cajuns.
Fields the toss. So past the 25. Dent made the play on Meagle. And now let's get a message from Wrangler. So the Raging Cajuns in a big hole against the Noles. Their most recent win against the Power 5 team, James, came in 2020. They went on the road at Iowa State and won 31-17. Iowa State was ranked number 23 in the nation at the time. That's incomplete. Looking for Williams.
You've got 2 Noles coming off there holding their hat in their hands. Watch Jared Verse. Look at the speed. Recognizes in a hurry. Hits the brakes and almost gets his hands on it. And there's Robinson breaking on it as well. Looked like he had a chance too. Oh, Jared Verse knows there was nobody that was going to touch him. Sophomore from Dayton, Ohio. Nice job of reading and reacting. And forcing a punt instead of a pick 6.
Robinson is deep. Pressure on the punt by Burns. It's a fair catch at around the 32 for Robinson. 42 yards on the punt. Florida State has the ball back, and it has the lead. 28-0 on the Cajuns.
Since they've had his services, and NC State trying to bounce back after the loss to Boston College last week. And our first look at the Glitter Boys getting a little bit chilly. Huh? They're tough enough. They don't mind this cloud cover. Wonder what those guys are named.
Some super fans in the house
And if
for
they,
the Noles.
I wonder if they keep track. You know, it's like how many Renegades have there been? It's like how many Uggas, how many Smokies at Tennessee, how many different glitter boys have there been?
It's glitter men, James. Glitter men.
Glitter guys. Glitter guys. The alliteration might be better there.
Travis standing and delivering. Louisiana side of the 50, Cameron McDonald.
Oh, and again, nice protection up front. Blitzer coming off the edge and doesn't even sniff Jordan Travis. Plenty of time for that route to develop. It's to the Long Beach Poly product. A Jackrabbit in high school out there in California. McDonald.
32 yards on the McDonald catch. That's Ward. A more modest gain with 5:25 and rolling in our second quarter. Florida State scored in its first 3 possessions, rushing TDs, and then followed up with the short rushing TD for Ward to make it 28-0, his second of the game. Energy and passion. That's what Mike Norvell asks of his team each and every week.
They stuff him right there. And after about a 1 or 2 yard gain, stepping up Jordan Quibido. He's been very active here in this first half. Well, energy and passion, that's, you know, going to practice yesterday, there's a whole lot of that. The thing that it stood out to me that was kind of nice, everybody plays the music now at practice, but they get the war chant going as they begin their stretching. It's an exciting way to start practice, to get your blood flowing, so you can't help but get into practice in a hurry, especially when Norvell comes running in there blowing that whistle.
Travis pass complete near the 15. Malik McClain, the sophomore. First down, Florida State at 17 yards.
Travis, plenty of time, sitting tall back there, letting everything develop and just throwing darts. Guys running these routes right in the middle of these zones. And the defense and just moving it on down once again back into the red zone.
3 of 4 in the red zone or the Garnet zone. Benson down near the 10. It's been all Garnet and gold so far today against the Ragin' Cajuns from Lafayette, Louisiana. Florida State 7-3. The win against Miami this season, James, made them bowl eligible. Trying to return to a bowl game for the first time since 2019 for the Noles. Travis, play fake, sprint out, throw, back of the end zone, touchdown, McClain.
Well, after this misdirection, it certainly looked like Jordan Travis had his eyes initially on Toafili. Had to come back across his body and put it in a spot where only his receiver, Malik McClain, could get it. And that was tough, and that ball was thrown hard. McClain catching the back tip of the ball, able to get those feet in the end zone, get them down in bounds, and hang on to that rock. Nice job by Jordan Travis. Just cool cat back there at the quarterback spot. Outstanding catch by McClain of IMG Academy down in Bradenton.
Third receiving touchdown of the season for McClain. 21st TD pass of the year. Jordan Travis. Fitzgerald with the extra point.
Man, that's tough. That's a lot of times receivers will work that drill where they try to catch the back half of the ball. Those are some strong hands, strong fingers right there to be able to secure it before you go down. Great job, 11. Tony playing on the speakers here now. It feels good. That'll take you back to the 90s.
Yeah.
See, they like the 90s around here. They're heading back that way.
Coming up at halftime, James Bates, stats and highlights, and they are all garnet and gold highlights. And we go driven with Mike Norvell, third-year head coach for Florida State. Former head coach at Memphis.
Hurry up, finish up, because I want to hear if they hit the rap part on this. This is a good one.
All right, I'm listening.
If not, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
I know you will.
Here we go. Come on. Mercedes, the mellow, quite a nice fellow. Me and 3T hit a rhyme a cappella. They had the rhythm and I had the rhyme. So then I handed that one more time. It worked out and then they worked it in. Tony has done it again. Feels good.
Does feel good. All right. Well done, Bates. There is no return from the Raging Cajuns. 3:14 to go in our second quarter, so glad that you're with us. We are playing football today in the ACC, but our thoughts are certainly with everyone in Charlottesville, Virginia, after the tragic loss of Lavelle, Devin, and Deshaun. And there is a memorial service coming up later today. That's at John Paul Jones Arena on the grounds of the University of Virginia. And we send our very best wishes to all of the folks associated with the Virginia football program as they move forward and try to cope, understand, and grieve and support one another after the tragic events of last Sunday.
Cajuns will get about 4 yards on that first down. And, you know, also Mike Hollins, the report on the fourth football player that was involved, that was injured after a couple surgeries. Every word out of Charlottesville is that he's recovering, on his way to recovery. So let's get our prayers with him and his family and the other student that was injured as well.
Washington. Two and a half minutes to go in the second quarter.
Trey Washington again. Just a redshirt freshman, back-to-back good weeks, and we expect to see quite a bit of him here in this game. And you know, it's one thing that these coaches did promise us. Offensive coordinator Tim Leger, our guys are going to fight all 4 quarters, offensively and defensively. They're not going to give up on each other. They're not going to give up fighting. They're going to play hard.
Down the sideline, incomplete. Fleming was the intended receiver. Green back there defensively. It is a clean play.
And again, here's Fields. He's had a couple pretty balls. A bit of hand fighting, and that kind of goes both ways. And there's Green to just rake it away. And gosh, those are the plays that you got to make. That ball's right there. Fleming's got to find a way to come up with it. Chandler Fields showing you that touch, that arm strength a couple times here in this first half. A couple balls that could have been caught, maybe should have been caught. Why he was named the starter coming out of camp in August. Started the first few games.
Johnson. Louisiana trying to get bowl eligible. It's going to be a steep climb today, obviously, trailing 35-0. But if they're able to win next week, James, they're at Texas State in a Sun Belt Conference game that would give them 6 wins on the season. They'd be bowl eligible once again, and that would be for the 5th straight year. That'd be a school record.
And you know, it's a senior class. It's won more games than anybody that's come through here. Michael DeZormo, he made it a point. He wants a bowl game for these seniors to play one extra game together more than anything. It's a football team and a football program that'll fight, try to make it happen. Looking like it's going to have to be next week anyway, the way this first half has gone.
Midfield for Washington. They went 13-1 last season, James, as the Sun Belt Conference champions, 8-0 in conference play. Their only loss was at the beginning of the season at Texas. Impressive in their last 4 years. In 2020, they were 10-1 and went 7-1 as co-champs in the Sun Belt. They've won 3 bowl games in a row as well. Won the New Orleans Bowl last year against Marshall, 36-21. 6th time that Louisiana had participated in the New Orleans Bowl. Fields on the run, plenty of room. And he'll scamper out near the 35-yard line, stops the clock. DeLoach escorts him out.
Starting to move a little something here before halftime. 1:10 left, plenty of time. And man, there you see those ends coming up the field so hard. You got to get out of there in a hurry. That time it was Jared Verse. We've seen Patrick Payton back there in a hiccup a couple times already today. Fresh set of downs here for the Cajuns.
Up the middle. Smith inside the 30. James, I was telling you, I put the research staff on the prior ACC opponents.
By research staff, do you mean Siri?
I mean me.
Okay, you and Siri. You and Siri.
Now, I found 2 ACC teams that they had played in the mid-70s. I'm sorry, in the mid-90s. But at the time, Pitt and Virginia Tech were not in the ACC.
Okay.
And they lost both of those games against the Panthers and the Hokies. Coming back the other way for Field, chopped down for 30. The records went back to the mid-70s for the Raging Cajuns.
Pressure's going to be there, and Fields buying some time with his legs, decides he's going to tuck it and go. But Lundy, who initially was on the ground, well, can't make plays on the ground. I better pop up here, and he does. Drops Fields down to the ground immediately, so forcing a 3rd down here and 27 seconds remaining. And the Cajuns will use a timeout, trying to get some points before they go into the halftime locker room.
Showed you that they've won their division in the Sun Belt Conference 4 years in a row.
You know, and it was pretty chaotic for this whole program starting in December when Billy Napier left. They go to Florida. And the Gators will be here to take on the Noles next Saturday night. And you know, not only he left, but you lost a bunch of coaching changes and a lot of players. A couple transferred to Florida. Others hit the portal and went elsewhere. So here's a big 3rd down. They're making some noise here in the dope.
At the 25, John Stevens made the catch, and that should be a 1st down.
Nice job by Stevens. The big man, 6'5", 221, uses that big body to wall off Jerry and Jones. What are they doing here? They're second time already. Transfer from TCU. Logansport, Louisiana. Logansport High School. Had a nice catch against Georgia Southern in the win last week. And here's a big one to keep this drive alive. 21 ticks remaining and 1 timeout here for the Cajuns. You better believe these Noles are over there talking each other up, making sure they preserve this first half shutout. That's one good thing. You look back at that Syracuse game, and it's a sudden change defense after a turnover at the 23 early in the game. A very, very crucial play in series. The defense comes out, Syracuse takes over at the Seminoles 23, and they push them backwards. The Orange ended up getting 0 points out of that turnover. They're going to need to rally right here if they want to keep the Cajuns off the board before halftime.
Fields heaves it down by the goal line, near the pylon and out of bounds. Short of the goal line at about the 1. Acrobatic catch from Michael Jefferson. It was well defended. 23 yards down to the Noles 1-yard line with 16 seconds left.
Well, it's good to see Chandler Fields kind of calm down a little bit. Told you he's the winner at the beginning of the year, and he just didn't translate out into game action, but he's really kind of settled down and made some good throws. Can they punch it in here?
Not that time. Williams Jones met immediately. Robinson took him down.
Well, they use these safeties. That's not Robinson. That is Jamie Robinson. They use these safeties. They come up, they'll bring them up, and they'll blitz them a lot more than they have in the past. You know, you'll get a lot of nickel blitz, a lot of cornerback blitz. But the way the personnel on this football team is here, Adam Fuller likes to bring those safeties. And here's another look at that outstanding throw and catch. Just a little bit of separation and making sure Jefferson, making sure he doesn't just get 1 foot down, but gets 2 down. Might as well. He's going to be playing in the NFL before too long. Or his coaches insist. Tim Leger, his offensive coordinator, spent a good 10 minutes at the end of our meeting last night just talking up not just what an outstanding player Jefferson is, but what an incredible young man. He's meant so much to this program, and he's got him knocking on the door right now. But not if Jamie Robinson and company have anything to do about it. 13 seconds left.
Fields, incomplete. Neil Johnson couldn't hang on. 3rd and goal. 9 seconds left in the quarter.
Things get a little bit tighter down here, and they try to run that route right over the goal line, but going right over the top is Renardo Green, who has broken up at least 3, maybe 4 balls here in the first half. 3rd and goal, 9 seconds left.
Fields looking, fires it incomplete, back of the end zone. 4th and goal, Raging Cajuns looking for Fleming. Jarian Jones back there defensively for Florida State.
Well, he has a guy in the flat. There's one more look at it, that little whip route, and nobody was there, and I know the guy breaking on the ball, but still looked like Errol Rogers had a little bit of space and may have been the better direction to go. Instead tries to force it in traffic to the back of the end zone, and so forced to try for a field goal.
Kenneth Almendaris from 20 yards away.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, that might be by choice by Almendaris, who just earned a scholarship, sophomore out of Clute, Texas. And sometimes you get so close to that goal line, that angle's kind of tough.
Tied the school record, 5 for 5.
Well, better give him a scholarship.
So the additional yardage does not bother the kicker for the Raging Cajuns, and they're on the board on the last play of the 2nd quarter. 35-3. The Noles with a monster halftime lead. So Florida State dominating with the rushing game away from the start of our 3rd quarter. Noles will kick it away to the Raging Cajuns. Got a late field goal on the last play of the 2nd quarter from Kenneth Almendaris. From a yard deep. That is Smith on the return for Louisiana as we check in with Wiley.
Well, Tom, moments ago I spoke with Louisiana coach Desereau, and he told me, look, we haven't done a great job of hitting our shots in the passing game. We ran the ball a little better there in the first half, but his main point was it's a deep hole right now, but these 2 quarters are just as critical for next week's game as they are for this one. Our goal is to win the half and try and build some momentum into next week. Again, they're just 1 win away from bowl eligibility for this senior class, James. They've been so special.
Yeah, Wiley, Goes back to how much time he spent talking about that. One more game for these seniors that have meant so much to this program and have held it all together with all of the turmoil in the offseason. Changing of coaches and losing a lot of players, and they come out swinging here in this second half on the ground anyway, Mike.
Sun Belt Conference champions in 2020 and 21. Last year going 13-1 all the way to the New Orleans Bowl. Tough loss on November 5th for this Raging Cajun team, James. Against Troy, they led 17-0, and Troy scored in the last play of the game to win it 23-17. Chris Smith, first down yardage, 29-yard line.
Well, that loss against Troy was a tough one. They dominated really the first 3 quarters, but the real tough one was the first one after 17 drives. They had won 17 straight games, I believe it was, before losing to Rice in week 3. With that, they lost 3 in a row. 33-21 against Rice, 21-17 the next week at ULM.
LeBlanc knocked down at the 30-yard line. Kalen DeLoach in there, number 4. Garnet gold and black. So Chandler Fields starting in place of Ben Woolridge, who was injured in practice this week. Lower body injury for Woolridge.
Yeah, tough guy. And our best Ben Woolridge, who will not play anymore this season. The transfer from Fresno State. Appeared in 5 games as a sophomore at Fresno State and 20 before transferring over. He's a junior this year.
DeLoach almost had it. Johnson.
Another look at it in plenty of time, and oh wow, you know, DeLoach is so early in that situation. He wanted to make sure he secured the tackle, which is smart defense. But as he watches that tape here in the next couple days, he's going to realize, go ahead and just roll the dice and step in front and take that one to the house. Still able to knock it down and dominating through the air, this defense.
Florida State chases down the quarterback. It's Jared Verse.
Just the speed on that edge, and gosh, almost Nathan Thomas, I don't know that he ever even touches it. You know, you go with the power. It's like a changeup or a curveball in baseball, and you're waiting on that speed, and then you're all off balance. You go with a couple powers in a row, and you push him back, and then he's kind of sitting on his heels, making sure he doesn't get run through. You run right around him. Excellent job by Jared Verse. Again, the technique that's used up front by this defensive line is fantastic. Really stands out on tape.
4 sacks on the day for Florida State to let this one roll. Cajun roll down to the 28-yard line.
There you go. Kick a Verse. So full of action. His name should be a verb. 35-3.
Oh, love that Chevy Blazer. That's our next SUV. Love that Equinox. That's our next SUV.
Nice Trailblazer.
It was love at first sight. What?
The Chevy family of SUVs. Find new options. Find new roads. Get $1,000 cash allowance on all 2022 Equinox models. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy Cyber Cash.
Hi. Georgia Drive Chevy. Z-Max Micro Lubricant. Extend engine life. Increase fuel mileage. Available at Walmart. And Green Machine. Available exclusively online at HomeDepot.com.
Osceola and Renegade planting the spear, one of the great college football traditions. James, you were talking about the game next week against Florida. That's the only time that Osceola dismounts.
Yeah, you better start stretching. Don't want him cramping up when he gets off of Renegade.
We got a new quarterback here, James.
Yeah, Tate Rodemaker. who's seen quite a bit of action over his time here. The sophomore out of Valdosta, Georgia, Valdosta High School. Not too far from Tallahassee, just across the border. Not as close as Thomasville. It's had a lot of great players sent down the road to Tallahassee, but pretty close nonetheless. Rodemaker actually played for his father back at Valdosta High School, and the numbers in the day for Jordan Travis: 9 of 14 through the air, 112 yards. The fantastic catch, nice throw to Malik McLean in the back of the end zone there in the first half, and 2 rushing touchdowns. Not a bad day for number 13.
Rodemaker at the 30. Stumbling down at the 15. Portier. So Rodemaker has thrown a couple of TD passes this season. Lets it fly. Complete to Portier.
Yeah, a little bit behind Kentron. Might have made it interesting and taken it all the way to the end zone had he put it out there in front of him, but a catch and a big gainer nonetheless.
Benson gets turned back. 4 of 5 in the red zone for the game for Florida State. There's a marker on the field.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 43. The penalty is half the distance to the goal line. Automatic first down.
It's on Quibido. Been pretty active in the first half, and a costly one right there. You finally get something to go your way. We've seen it a couple times on the kick and punt returns for Louisiana, and the flag comes out, takes them back the other way. Here they finally find a way to corral Trey Benson. But a flag down, and it's first down and goal now for Rodemaker and the Noles.
Benson, leading rusher in the game for Florida State. 15 carries, 78 yards. They fake it to him, throw it in the end zone and incomplete. Flag is out. Once again, Rodemaker was looking for Portier.
Pass interference, defense number 21. Foul occurred in the end zone, and the ball will be spotted at the 2. Automatic first down.
Nice little route by Portier, and we're just hanging on Trey Amos. And Amos just trying to live to play another down, and they'll do that. It's closer to the goal line, but still first down and goal. Amos had 2 pass breakups and 8 tackles last week in the win over Georgia Southern.
Benson to the goal line and in. Trey Benson finds the end zone for the Seminoles TD.
And those big guys up front. A smile for Rodemaker from Coach Norvell, but the offensive line doing a good job right there, helping to pave the way. Old line led by Maurice Smith, the sophomore from Miami Central at center, right there in the middle of it all. They finally got some continuity. Just bulldoze the guys in the red hats into the end zone, and following them is Benson.
There will always be bumps in the road.
Florida State with a commanding lead early in the second half, 42-3, and Michael Jefferson Jr., the receiver for the Louisiana Raging Cajuns, one of their top receivers this season. We've touched on it throughout this broadcast, what a special person he is. Well, he had a really special moment 2 weeks ago when his father, Michael Jefferson Sr., escorted him at Senior Day on November 5th. And that was so meaningful because it was almost 12 years ago to the day that Michael's father was diagnosed with cancer. Michael was just in elementary school, and his father had an infection that was so severe in his colon that at one point he felt like he had lost the will to live. That's when Michael Jr. came in and said, I'm going to take care of my dad. He sat with his dad and really went through some arduous moments of, or months rather, of treatment and recovery. And then a few years ago, the cancer came back for a second time. And this time, his father said, no matter what happens to me, I want you to graduate college. Michael Jr. would be the first in his family to accomplish that. And now for his father, not only to beat cancer once, but twice, and to see his son graduate from college and in all likelihood get drafted next spring to the NFL. It's really an inspiring story, guys, of perseverance and bond between father and son.
100% Wiley, and these Cajuns with the ball back now, and he actually, as they'll go back on offense, and Michael Jefferson will trot out onto the field. There is a flag down here, but his offensive coordinator, Tim Leger, who has a very close relationship with the receiver for the Cajuns.
Here's the return, holding by the return team, number 3. The penalty is 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Cajuns got to get that cleaned up. It's one of the bright spots of this football team is their return game. That's 3 now on special teams during the returns that they've had a penalty to take them back the other way. But just to finish up, you know, offensive coordinator Tim Leger telling us that he was talking with Michael quite a bit about his future and, you know, what do you want to do? And he said, I just want to go play football at the next level in the NFL and hang out with my dad. So I know his dad's very proud of the young man, not just on the football field, but off of the football field that Michael has become.
You see head coach Michael Desormeaux, accomplished player for the Raging Cajuns, a quarterback. Coached in the bowl game last year, the New Orleans Bowl. In his first season, 5-5, 3-4 in Sun Belt Conference. Did that ball come out? The Noles say they have it. The officials agree. Shaheem Brown on the cover for Florida State.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Florida State. First down.
Well, the freshman Dre Washington just continues to fight and drags Fabian Lovett. Not giving up, but Lovett isn't giving up either. And Lovett finally wins that battle, rips that football out of there. And this play will stand. No whistle. And Washington wasn't down. And Shy Brown, the redshirt freshman from Lake City, Columbia High School, great program down I-10, coming up with the football.
Rodney Hill, the ball carrier. Florida State now inside the red zone, brought to you by CPI Security for the game. 5 of 6 in the red zone for Florida State. 6 touchdowns on their previous 7 possessions. And they are in the red zone at the 18-yard line. AJ Duffy gets a chance at quarterback here in the third quarter. 9:15 and rolling.
Duffy, a California kid.
Down near the 15 for Rodney Hill. Shaheem Brown, who just covered that fumble, James, he had the blocked extra point against LSU in early September for the 24-23 win at the Superdome in New Orleans for this Florida State team.
Interesting here. I don't know if you caught it there, Tom, but Chris Moncrief, the linebacker, his helmet came off. And it was off, but he tried to sneak it back in on the pile, and he didn't leave. And I see a flag being thrown. He's supposed to leave the game for a play, but he'll stay in.
Duffy to throw. One catch, diving for the pylon. Touchdown, Noles. Douglas with the grab. 15 yards and a score.
All right, how about it? New guy. Duffy getting in there and an outstanding, good throw over the defender, and Douglas out of Tennessee, Brownsville, Tennessee. Outstanding catch. Go up and pull it down. Noles are having a good time. Everybody getting involved here.
First touchdown pass for Duffy. Douglas has his first receiving TD as well. What a grab, one-handed with the right hand and diving for the pylon.
For the Wolverines.
Saw LSU on that list, team that Florida State beat. Start the season 24-23. We told you about the blocked extra point by Shaheem Brown, who just covered a fumble. They turned it into points. Fleming, the deep man. Florida State 3-2 at home this season, 2-2 in conference play. We'll be sure to stick with us after the third quarter for the fourth, brought to you by CPI Security. The championship matchup in the ACC is set. Whoa, 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 hold on a second.
There's the Bandit. There you go. Burt Reynolds, a graduate of Florida State University. Loaded up and trucking. Yeah, him and the snowman, Jerry Reed, baby. That's awesome.
How about that?
Hey, you know, I dug something else up. You know who else graduated from Florida State but also went to Louisiana? This is a good one, too.
I can't wait to hear this.
They put it this way. We could be calling this the Richard Simmons Bowl because Richard Simmons went to Louisiana and then transferred to and graduated from Florida State.
We could.
Yeah, and we also could be wearing the Dolphin shorts. We could be wearing Dolphin shorts, sweating to the oldies up here.
Wow. I thought I did some research. How about that, Bates?
I actually stumbled across that as I was looking up, trying to get creative with my keys to the game. I went with the Burt Reynolds movie titles, but before that I was just looking at, let's see, who would, the famous grads from Louisiana, or back in the day, what would have been USL or Louisiana Lafayette. Now it's just Louisiana, just the Louisiana Raging Cajuns.
Up to the 40 in Jefferson.
You know, and if nothing else, Chandler Fields getting back into the rhythm, as Wiley has talked about, we've talked about up here, the importance of this football team and that Coach Dez has put on them to win a 6th game this season. Tough and long way to go right now to make that with 5 wins coming in, but Texas State next week, at least this way, Chandler Fields will be back into that rhythm with a starting quarterback.
Let's get a message from Works Nitro. Truly is the longest yard for the Raging Cajuns today. Just 151 yards of total offense. Florida State 6 yards away from 400 yards of total offense.
And perhaps the best little defense in Florida.
Careful, Bates. Clock rolling in the third quarter. Florida State built a 35-3 halftime lead. They've scored 7 touchdowns on 8 possessions in the game.
Cajuns just 2 of 9 on third down conversions. Florida State has actually held 2 teams this season to just 2 total in the game. Let's see if they can stick right here.
Catch near midfield. That's John Stevens Jr. Transfer from TCU. out of Logansport, Louisiana. First down right near midfield for the Raging Cajuns.
Move those chains, so conversion number 3. And a nice pitch and catch there to John Stevens from field.
Smith got a couple. Lundy on the tackle. Don't forget, check your local listings for the game and time in your area to follow us. It is NC State at Louisville. Pack trying to bounce back from a loss to Boston College at home. Louisville without Malik Cunningham. Wolfpack have utilized their backup quarterbacks this season as well. Jack Chambers and MJ Morris, the freshman. Stepping up fields. Uncorks it. Nobody home near the goal line. Jefferson closest to it for the Cajuns.
So sure they were on the same page there as Jefferson seemed to be done with that route. You know, it's interesting as you look down on the field for FSU. There were 4:18 left in the third quarter. You know, and some fresh faces in there. Some of the backups starting to get in there. We've seen it already a lot on the offensive side, but this is something that they've been able to do in the last 3 ACC games. They force another 3rd down and long.
A little wrinkle displayed by the Raging Cajuns. Nobody's fooled. Fleming taken down.
Well, not only is nobody fooled, but they're just so fast, and even if they're slow to read it, they're there, and it's a disciplined defense that takes good angles and just track him down and drop him. After a gain of 3, it'll be 4th down and 5 for Coach Dez and his offense here.
0 for 1 on 4th down in the game. The 27th time this season they've gone for it on 4th down. Fields through the progression. Watch out, he got dropped. Farmer makes the play for Florida State.
44, Josh Farmer does a great job. 2 big stops for the Noles defense when the Cajuns tried to go for it on 4th down. First time it was Jamie Robinson, and this time it's the big man from Port St. Joe, Gadsden County High School, just a redshirt freshman, Joshua Farmer. Saw his family coming in wearing those 44s. I got all fired up, and who's this weirdo yelling at, like, oh, I like those 44s. You know, okay, get away from us, weird guy.
First you try to watch the Georgia practice and you get kicked out. Hey, don't ask for any scissors either, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Mike Norvell invited us to practice yesterday, though. That was nice.
Yes, he did. Span this time for Florida State. 5 sacks, by the way, in the game for the Noles after that defensive play made by Joshua Farmer on 4th down.
Yeah, Port St. Joe, the other high school in town, the Sharks, Tom, they've always got a pretty good football team and a really good basketball history down there. Those LSU colors. There's a nice carry for a 1st down. Let's get it down there to Wiley Ballard.
Well, James, I got an update on Micah Pittman, who left in the first half with injury, went to the locker room. He's back here on the sidelines. He's dressed out in sweats, but he's moving about just fine. So needless to say, the score, of course, a lot of the starters are out. So Pittman no longer dressed out, but as far as I can tell, he's moving around just fine.
Okay. Good deal. Well, that's good because they will need Pittman next week, that's for sure.
Hill. Tyrone Lewis came up to meet him. Yeah, Pittman's 2nd leading receiver on the team.
Listen in right here. Boom. Trahan had a hold of him, and Lewis cleaning it up. Or Traha, rather.
Trahan.
Trahan. Yeah, that was about the time in our meeting last night when we were like, okay, tell me about this safety. And we're like, well, Trahan. And we're like, whoa, hold on. We need to go through the entire roster now, because it's not like well, like Toafili would be a good example. You know, you could sit there and look at, okay, I need to just slow down on this one. I need to pronounce all the vowels. But some of these, they'll trick you. And, you know, it's like, well, why wouldn't I pronounce that in? Well, because he's from Lafayette, Louisiana.
That's right.
Like Bobby Boucher with the tackling fuel.
Penalty markers before the snap.
False start. Offense number 0. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Argument could be made there that he came across that line and back it up 5 yards. Well, I mean, what do you think of the green incorporated there? I know it's from Military Appreciation Day. Awesome to see, taking care of our men and women in our armed forces. I like that green.
Absolutely. The floater at the 20, incomplete. Rodney Hill was the intended receiver with the green mouthpiece.
More look at it. Duffy has to scramble a little bit and just tries to dump it out there and give Hill a chance. And well, it was Hill Green, Zion Hill Green, looking for sack number 22. Remember, he's trying to go back to Lafayette with a school record. Came in with 21 career sacks. That's tied for the school record. He's got about a quarter and a minute in one game to do it.
Florida State will go on 4th down. 7 of 18 in this situation for the season, and this one will result in a penalty marker.
It could go as a horse collar as well. And the sad thing is, yeah, see the Cajun coaches over there saying uncatchable. And it truly was. I mean, that ball was thrown so far down, there's no way the Seminole receiver could have gotten to it. And Trahan making sure he couldn't get to it.
You just want to say his last name.
There's no foul on the play. The ball has been ruled uncatchable. That was 4th down. It's an incomplete pass. The ball will go over on downs. 1st down.
It's going back to the Raging Cajuns, James. Uncatchable football.
Well, there it was. It was actually over on the left side of the screen. You barely saw it before it went out of the frame. Maybe it wasn't Trahan. I think it was Pettisclou.
Some highlights this season for Florida State. That win in the 2nd game of the season against LSU, 24-23. A win at Louisville, James, 35-31. Dominated Georgia Tech at home, 41-16, with 642 yards of offense against the Jackets. Travis throwing for 396 yards in that win and 3 TD passes. And the win against Miami on the road. Miami Gardens, 45-3, as you mentioned, the largest road win by either team in the series, and it made Florida State bowl eligible.
And it was from the giddy-up. As soon as they got there, it only took a couple plays to score. And, I mean, just setting the tone and dominating on both sides of the football, that was an impressive win for this program, a huge win for this program.
You're so right, James. 3rd play of the game at Miami. Travis found Wilson, 56 yards for a touchdown. Tone set immediately.
Yes, and on the ground as well. Benson had a great day. That counter, I think they're still going on a couple of those counter plays. I mean, they just ran it to perfection. Benson behind that big offensive line, getting up and moving, doing well. And here they've got a chance after finishing off this 4th quarter. In this game, they've got one more rival to try to take down as the Florida Gators come to town with former Louisiana head coach Billy Napier running the show in his first year.
And Florida State has lost 3 in a row in the series against the Gators. Lost at Florida last year, 24-21. Their last win in the series came in 2017. That was at Florida, 28-22. You were talking about Trey Benson, James, by the way, leading rusher in the game. 16 carries, 80 yards, and a touchdown. For Benson, that was in this quarter, 2 yards out. And so we've completed 3. And this game belongs to the Garnet and Gold. They've got the lead.
Yards, 414 to 169. In the red zone, the Noles continue to be golden. 6 of 6 perfect here in this football game as we enter the 4th.
4th down play for Louisiana. 4th and about 2. That's enough. Williams spins his way to Florida State territory. 60 degrees as we play here in the opening moments of our 4th quarter. Tom Wormy, James Bates. Wiley Ballard is on the sideline, along with our outstanding ACC college football production crew here in Tallahassee, Florida. Our hosts for the weekend. Raging Cajuns had a nice contingent make the trip from Lafayette.
Well, it's a great fan base. They love their Cajuns. They love their football, and that's why you get so many kids from that area. You know, you look on the roster here. There's the George Jackson family, right guard, big 71. But you know, just like their head coach, Coach Dez, local kid, grew up right there in Liberia, about 15-20 minutes away. Got a lot of those kids on this roster.
First down to the 35. Let's get a message from Green Machine.
With our 62-volt battery-powered blower in your hands,
So Louisiana was coming off a victory last Thursday at home against Georgia Southern, 36-17. 5th win of the season. They've now won 4 in a row against Georgia Southern. Ben Woldridge, who was injured in practice this week, threw 3 touchdown passes in a win against the Eagles. That is incomplete from Chandler Fields.
There was nobody out there trying to set up the screen, is what Chandler and a couple of his offensive linemen thought anyway. You know, getting caught up maybe in the backfield right there. Trey Washington, a freshman, staying in to block. Nobody out there to run that screen, and now Washington will split wide in an empty set.
Fields, a sophomore from Metairie, Louisiana. Tries to create, flips it forward. Inside the 20, and down to the 5-yard line. Fields on the pass. That went for 30 yards.
Doing a nice job, protection up front, stepping up in the pocket and delivering a little sidearm sling through that window. And Bell doing the rest. Getting down close. Now can a couple of these backups in there right now, can they preserve this run? It's been a long time since an opponent has put the football in the end zone. We've seen a few field goals, but can they keep him out of the end zone?
Fields eludes one defender, throws it to that corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Lumpkin was the receiver.
Big Johnny Lumpkin, senior tight end from Atlanta. A bit too worried about those feet. Leader on this offensive side of the ball, a guy who's held all of this together, coaches will tell you. Things got a little bit tough midway through the season. made sure everybody was on the same page. They're on the same page here on a 2nd down and goal in the 4th quarter. Let's see.
Trying to run it. Washington stopped. Amari Gaynor on the tackle.
There's Gaynor lined up right on the edge. Nobody there to block him, and comes from the backside and just adjusts that angle and flattens out and makes the tackle. That 0 touchdowns allowed in the last 32 consecutive drives. I think early in the game I called it quarters. I meant to say drives, so I apologize. That would be nice. Mike Norvell he wouldn't mind that at all.
45-3 win a couple weeks ago against Miami at the Dome last week. 38-3 for Florida State. And we get a timeout by Louisiana. So Coach Michael Desormeaux wants to talk it over with his Ragin' Cajuns. Don't forget to follow us. Jack Chambers and the NC State Wolfpack. Chambers, who came on for an injured Devin Leary, and Jay Morris has seen action as well for NC State, and they'll be taking on Louisville. That's following us. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area. Second game of our ACC doubleheader.
Chambers,
second to last week of the season, James.
Yeah. Chambers is a transfer from Charleston. Making some noise.
3rd and goal. Ragin' Cajuns. Time for Fields. Taken down to 5, Williams. Gaynor again.
Couple good plays on this drive by 33. Amari Gaynor breaking on that football and making the tackle in the open field. Coach Desormeaux has that offense still out there for this 4th down and goal. This would be a big one right here.
1 for 3 on 4th down of the game. To the end zone. And a touchdown. Jefferson extending for the grab in that back corner of the end zone for the Ragin' Cajuns.
Well, and a pat on the back from the defense. And for good reason, a heck of a catch to extend and to get that foot, maybe even the knee down. McClellan was on the coverage. It was decent coverage, but a nice little throw by Fields. Great catch by Jefferson. And it sure is good to see Michael Jefferson get up on the scoreboard here today. Wiley Ballard with a great story on him and his dad. And the Mobile, Alabama product breaks that streak, and an impressive one by this Noles defense of keeping the opponents out of the end zone. But just like the Bandit says, they got a long way to go and a short time to get there. But they're in the end to show you. He also did some damage on the ground here today as well. Moving those feet, and has done such a good job of growing into being able to use those feet, not just to run, but to pass as well. And oh yeah, he can still run, don't get me wrong. Rector with the block out on the edge right there for touchdown number 1. Touchdown number 2, a little bit further out. He threw 1, ran 2 here today. And remember, that's a week ago. He ran for 1, threw for a touchdown, and caught a touchdown pass as well. And slinging it on the run back across his body. There's that nice touchdown throw and catch to Malik McClain. And there you see the as well. UNC playing Georgia Tech today. The Tar Heels already clinching the Coastal Division. So it's the Tar Heels over there and the Clemson Tigers. They did it a couple weeks ago in the Atlantic. They'll meet up in Charlotte at season's end. But Mike Norvell and these Florida State Seminoles, you get the sense that they're not too far away from representing in Charlotte, North Carolina. They certainly look to be back to their winning ways. 3 straight blowouts in ACC play. And another lopsided football game here today with 11 minutes left to go. Staying healthy, they've got some great pieces at a lot of these important spots. It's like the Seminole football of old.
Florida State has won that Atlantic Division, James, 5 times. The last time 2014 when it beat Georgia Tech in the ACC championship game 37-35. Next year we will dissolve the divisions. This is the last year of divisional play in the ACC. 15 times Florida State has been the champs of the Atlantic Coast Conference. 2012, 13, and 14, the last run of ACC titles for the Noles. Won 4 and 5 years from 2010 to 2014. Campbell on the carry. 3-time national champs, Bates. 93, 99, and 2013 with the win against Auburn in the BCS championship game, the Rose Bowl that year.
Charlie Ward. Loud environment. They had us pretty much the whole game, and then they came back and made it interesting, but they converted on a big 3rd down. Right before that play, it was super loud. But Charlie Ward, the work done, I believe, on the wheel route.
Florida State's been in the national title game 6 times. What happened, Bates, with that Sugar Bowl at the end of the '96 season?
Well, you can't talk about that. Talk about the one versus 2 here, and that'll make everybody happy.
Okay.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
All right, we'll talk more about that when we come back. There's a timeout on the field, and the Cards, they'll finish up against their rival Kentucky at the end of the season out of the SEC. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area to follow us, NC State and Louisville. It's been all garnet and gold this afternoon for Florida State, looking for win number 8 on the season. Should be well in hand at this point with 9:37 to go in the 4th. All 3 quarterbacks for the Noles have seen action today. Jordan Travis, a couple of rushing touchdowns, a passing TD. 21st of the season, 9 yards to Malik McClain in the 2nd quarter.
Got 2 Aussie punters in the game too, Mastromano and Reese Burns from Louisiana.
Mastromano, the sophomore from Melbourne, Australia. Cajuns let it bounce. It's inside the 30. So the last drive for Louisiana resulted in a touchdown, and they punched it in on 4th down as they drove it down the field.
Yeah, they had been stuffed a couple times earlier in the game on 4th down, but Chandler Field's starting to get more and more comfortable out there as the starter. Nice throw, catch, and run to Bell, and then on the move, back of the end zone, Michael Jefferson. Good-looking play right there, and that's what made it 10 on the scoreboard for the Cajuns. And, you know, that's one thing we were promised, I will say, last night there at the Doubletree meeting with those coaches is these guys they'll fight for us for 4 quarters and fight for each other, and they continue to do that.
After that, James, we sampled some local cuisine in Tallahassee, didn't we?
The Crumb Box. The Crumb, what is it? Railroad Park? Is that what it is? It's called over there?
I just saw the restaurant was inside a caboose.
Well, and to be honest, Railroad Square. Thank you very much. And you know, I ate there for lunch. You know, going over my notes, and had a great sausage. And these coaches from Louisiana, they started talking about all that Cajun food back home, and it got me hungry. And so I had to take you guys there for round 2. But it was good. Highly recommend it.
First down and more for Washington. Must be nice to have Washington on your side.
Yeah, the owner at the Crumb Box, by the way, is going to serve up gator sausage. First time he's done gator sausage next weekend, so you have to go Get some of that before the Noles try to eat up on the Gators. You can do a tailgate style, right? Moving the chains, though, continuing to look pretty good here. The Cajuns in the fourth quarter.
The redshirt freshman Washington again. Had won 3 of their last 5 games. Wins at Marshall and Arkansas State. You know, the other thing that I noted, James, in looking at the Sun Belt Conference this season, go back to week 2. Remember what happened in week 2 for the Sun Belt? Marshall won at Notre Dame. App State won at Texas A&M. And Georgia Southern, the team Louisiana defeated last Thursday, won at Nebraska. What a week for that conference.
Wow. You know, and the West alone has gotten so much stronger here this year.
Williams totes the rock for the Ragin' Cajuns.
Terrence Williams from South Oak Cliff. They're in the Metroplex, Dallas, Texas. There's a lot of good football teams in that area. A lot of good players have come out of South Oak Cliff as well. Move those chains one more time.
We crossed the 7-minute threshold of the fourth quarter. So glad that you've been with us for ACC football. Tom Worley, James Bates, Wiley Ballard, and our outstanding production crew with you from Tallahassee, Florida. Bobby Bowden Field at Doak Campbell Stadium. One of the most legendary venues for college football. Program that started back in 1947. That's down near the 10 for Stevens Jr. Committee tackle to rock him out of bounds.
And again, Fields, nice back shoulder throw to Stevens, going back for it. Inside the 10-yard line goes Louisiana. Stevens' old team, by the way, the TCU Horned Frogs, in a little bit of trouble. One of the top teams in the country, trailing Baylor just a few moments ago.
21 yards on the previous play for Louisiana sets up 1st and goal. Fields has a touchdown pass in the game. Just went out to the left side near the 5-yard line. Caleb Carter. So Fields has thrown it 35 times so far in the game, and now 36 on that last one. 19 completions, 159 yards, and a touchdown pass. So we'll take a timeout and attend to the Nole, who is down. The 10 Noles about to win their 4th home game of the season and 8th overall with 5:29 to go in the 4th. Big defensive effort by the Noles this afternoon against the Ragin' Cajuns. They're built tough. It's brought to you by Wrangler.
Yeah, absolutely what you'd expect. These Noles were hungry coming in. The 11th best defense in the nation, number 2 against the pass. They did a pretty good job for 3 quarters anyway, shutting down that pass and running down Chandler Fields. Continued to be in his face throughout the day. And turnover, few sacks mixed in there. Fast, healthy, got some depth there. Checking off a lot of boxes. Make for a pretty good defense. Coach Adam Fuller, the defensive coordinator, hats off.
2nd and goal. Fields still has it, and he trucks into the end zone. So Chandler Fields basically untouched into that front left corner. 5 yards on the run by Fields.
Oh no, he was untouched. There's no basically about it. There wasn't anybody even close.
Now he's got a TD pass and a rushing TD. And guess what? They're both 5 yards.
Yeah. Somebody's got to stay home over there. Everybody too anxious. You know, you get a couple of these backups in there, and you get so anxious to go get in on the stat book and go in, make a play, make a tackle, but you forget your assignment, somebody's got to stay home and make sure that they're not going to carry that out.
A couple of fourth-quarter TDs for Louisiana, James.
Here we go. A lot more than basic. Nobody anywhere near except for his own guy. Cajuns with a touchdown.
In the 70th season of ACC football. Will the Raging Cajuns try to get crafty here? No. Send it deep. No return from McCall.
A garnet and gold birthday. All right. Like that. Happy birthday. So it's a football team under Mike Norvell that is really rolling down the home stretch this second half of the season. I mentioned those ACC games, and they're looking so good today. And they'll take this momentum on into next week. And keep going here offensively. There's some new guys getting involved out there. That's Mike Roussos, wide receiver from Newport Richie, north of Tampa. Move those chains.
So Gino English is in a quarterback, number 15, sophomore quarterback. Fourth Florida State quarterback in the game. Travis, Rodemaker, Duffy, English. Hill carries it. The 49-17 lead. 4:20 and rolling in the fourth.
Nice job knifing back there by Mensa to drop Hill. English, by the way, from Winter Park, Florida, Winter Park High School. Got some pretty good football players over the years right there near Orlando.
Hill very close to first down yardage right at midfield as English sees his first action of the season.
Rodney Hill from Statesboro, there by Georgia Southern, the team that these Cajuns took down last time out.
This will be the fourth win in a row for Florida State. Sets up the game next week against Florida. Right here at Bobby Bowden Field.
I'm scared to look at that Gators score right now. It's getting down to the wire in Nashville. You know, these Noles are rolling right now. My Gators might come in here limping a little bit unless they can figure out a way to come back down 13 points to the boat rowers of Vanderbilt. Yeah, it's talk about a long way to go. We'll see.
Ball's on the turf, and English is able to fall on it. Was not a clean exchange.
And that's own the football. Own the football was goal number one. They don't lose that one right there on Gino's credit. He can't believe it, but Alex Atkins, the offensive coordinator, so that was goal number one. They've turned it over too much this year. Want to be a little bit crisper in the ball handling category. We've seen it hit the the turf twice once it went out of bounds. Toafili earlier in the first quarter out down near the goal line, and then this one right here, but they got both of them back.
So we know that regardless of the outcome next week against Florida, Florida State already bowl eligible, should be headed to a postseason bowl. Their last bowl win, James, was 2017 in the Independence Bowl against Southern Miss, 42-13 in Shreveport, Louisiana. Also won the 2017 Orange Bowl against Michigan. Miami Gardens, Florida. What a game that was, 33-32. Just another step in the right direction for this program under third-year head coach Mike Norvell. Went 5-7 last season, 4-4 in conference play. They were 3-6 in his first year in 2020, and this year they're going to improve to 8-3 with a win against Louisiana. For Coach Norvell, the 41-year-old from Bartow, Florida.
Really? No. I think he's from Irving, Texas. You might want to check that. You know who is from Bartow, Florida? Is Odell Hagan.
Sorry.
This one. It's all right.
Yep. I have Irving, Texas down here
okay.
as well. Yeah.
And I know that because I think he went to the same high school as Brian Bosworth. So.
Whoa, wait a second now.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. That'll work. Flag down. Yeah, today was a good day.
Coach Hagan still on the staff in his 29th season as an assistant, James. Good day for Travis.
Kick catch interference. Kicking
Well, rushing
team
TDs and a
number 0,
passing TD.
15-yard penalty, first down.
There he is. Yeah, Bartow High School. There's a captain in his playing days for these Seminoles for 3 years. He's coached some great ones. Looks like he's got another wave of some outstanding players that are coming through here. But Darnell Dockett, Timmy Jernigan, Andre Wadsworth, Corey Simon.
He's been the interim head coach twice. All-American defensive lineman in the mid-1980s. Florida State Hall of Famer.
One
penalty
last
marker.
Flag.
Yep.
And a chance to crank back up Ice Cube one more time. Nope.
Okay, so there's a flag.
But if it's on Louisiana,
Right.
they'll run it off.
Right.
Illegal formation against the offense. 5 players in the backfield. Penalties decline.
That'll do it.
49-17. Florida State improves to 8-3 and 4-2 at home. With the win in the first ever meeting with the Ragin' Cajuns. 440 yards of total offense for Florida State, which scored touchdowns on 7 of its first 8 possessions in this game. We'll come back to Tallahassee and wrap this one up in just a moment.